Good morning, everybody. Lovely, lovely, lovely to have you with us here today as we talk a little bit about our Valentine's marketing strategies. We're really excited to have this conversation. We're about a month out, and I hope you all feel like superheroes because with some of the content we're going to cover, we're saving relationships, we're saving lives. Might be too much, might be a bit too extreme, but we're going to cover some really good content over the next few minutes and hopefully give you some inspiration for your marketing around Valentine's Day, about what we're going to do and how we're going to approach it. So let's have a little look about what we're going to cover over the next few minutes. The agenda is going to look something like this. How do we win Valentine's Day early? How do we make that win count? And how do we know what worked? So coming out of this, our learning goals are going to be, how can behavior trigger our best campaigns? Some inspiration for journeys and ideas, and then understand how to see and report on successes. So to win Valentine's Day early, what do we need in place? What do we need to have set up? We're going to think about this in three different sections. We're going to think about the who, so not the band, who we're going to talk to, how we segment early by behavior and by intent. Are your channels ready? Have you got all the data you need to maximize that? And how do we drive urgency and convert that ever so vital conversion point? So who are you targeting and how to drive that? Let's start thinking about who we're going to be talking to, how we're going to segment early by behavior and by intent. Let's break this down into two particular sections. Let's think about this from an email point of view initially. So if you're a customer of Spotler, then you will be able to see a very clear view of who you're going to be sending to. What can we do if we're just going to be sending email to people? This starts with, first and foremost, your list. Who are we going to be talking to? Are we going to approach everyone initially? That might be a good idea. Equally, you might say you might want to drive down into those who've opened or clicked in the last X amount of days, months, weeks. But when we come to thinking about content, so we can drive down further into who we're going to be targeting with that Valentine's content by being really, really intentional with our creative. So let's take a B2C e-commerce example initially, something along the lines of sending out a specific Valentine's Day warm-up campaign with a specific landing page and specific products that will inspire people to be thinking about Valentine's Day. Now, with that, we can then go into our reporting, looking at our opens and our clicks. Who did that engage with and who didn't it engage with? We've then got two very separate pots of people we can be talking to. Those that didn't engage, all right, let's try something else. Let's have a plan. Do we try again with our Valentine's content, or do we just segue them back into normal campaigns? Those that did engage, though, we're going to do something very specific with them. We're going to be prepared for the next level. All right, they've showed intent. They've showed that they want to engage with this content. So we need to have our next steps of creative lined up. So the who we're going to be speaking to, look at it by behavior and by intent. And those people that don't want to hear about it, let's do something else. Those that do, we're going to laser in and charge forward on our Valentine's campaigns. Now, for those of you that use Spotler Activate, our CDP and web personalization tool, the segmentation goes to the next level. And for this one, we need to be thinking about how our events are set up. Now, events, to be thinking about them at a top level, that's what has happened, what somebody has done on the site. So you send your email Plus, you've sent it to the right people, they've clicked and gone through to site. Spotler Activate's capturing that information. So we can start to build up a picture of those who have clicked and engaged on our landing page for Valentine's Day, looked at specific Valentine's products, or engaged with the content in any way. And we can start to build our audiences for that. So step one to winning Valentine's Day early is to be thinking about who you want to be talking to and what their interaction means for what you're going to send them next. We've spoken about who, and now it's more about which channels, will be connecting well with them. You see down here that we've got lots of tools within Spotler that can help people to connect in different ways. One that's a really good one to be thinking about, because it offers such a great branding control opportunity, is WhatsApp. This is powered by our Spotler message tool. We've got a lot of case studies on the website where brands have taken the opportunity to use email, so to go from social adverts to connecting, getting somebody onto the website. At that point, we've paid a lot of money to get them onto site. We're going to start to warm them up towards conversion with our email and CRM plans. Then at the point of conversion, do we want to do something else? Do we want to introduce another channel? Is that a valuable way to approach things? Equally, if you're approaching Valentine's Day from a gaining new signups point of view, WhatsApp is an amazing opportunity because of the extra ability to control what the message looks like. You can insert an image at the top. So instead of an SMS being plain text, for example, you can control that moment of initial connection with someone by putting a beautiful picture. You'll see the case study on our website of rituals where they've put a lovely room with a smiling, happy person surrounded by flowers. And that immediate connection, that sets something going in our customers. So let's think about, are the channels ready? Winning Valentine's Day early is thinking, is email going to play well on its own? It will be a very key part. Would WhatsApp be a good addition? We've worked out who we're going to be talking to. We've worked out which channels we're going to be talking to them on. Now, how do we drive urgency and convert? So we've talked a little bit about the marketing mix here, but when we look at that urgency, there's things you can do in Mail Plus and things you can do in Activate as well. So let's think about Mail Plus for a minute. We have built in a countdown timer. I joked at the start about saving relationships and saving lives. I've decided that it's not too grand, and that's what we're doing here. But we want to make sure that people understand the need for action. So when it gets closer to Valentine's Day, is that countdown timer going to be useful? Equally, if you're watching this and thinking Valentine's Day isn't a huge opportunity for me, be thinking about that social proof and fear of missing out. What can we do to make sure that people know there is a time limit on that sale? There is a time limit countdown to the final post day, to the final point they can sign up to attend that event. So when we look at this at the conversion space, be thinking how countdowns will be driving urgency and driving us to a place where they know they've got an action and something they need to do. So by the time we've worked out who we're talking to, which channels, and how we're going to drive urgency, success. We've got to the point of winning. How do we make that win count? For that's not the end. The Valentine's Day, there's multiple wins in this. It might be that Valentine's Day is a key data acquisition point for you. At that point, connecting up to socials and making sure that your message is right is there. It might be that the purchase is the win. Equally, let's say somebody goes through seamlessly through our flows and journeys. What's next? We don't just want one purchase. At Spotler, we're hugely committed to getting you that second purchase. We know how much getting people to your site costs, and we know how much there is a need for getting them to the point of conversion in a very competitive market. So it might be that the win is we get the Valentine's Day purchase. How do we get to the second purchase? Equally, let's say they go to the second purchase straight away through a flawlessly designed journey. What's the next one? Are we going to ask for a review? Are we going to ask for a Trustpilot or whichever review site you are focused on? When we think about Valentine's Day, thinking about it in isolation is valuable, but when we connect it to the wider calendar and the wider idea of our marketing mix, that's where the true power is. We've got an opportunity with Valentine's Day, and we've got an opportunity to win with Valentine's Day, and we've got an opportunity to win with the rest of our marketing calendar. So let's think about those journeys for a little bit. You can have journeys in Mail Plus, and you can also have an Activate. The variable would be what's available for you to set journeys live on. In a moment, I'm going to jump through to show you a little demo within our Spotler Activate tool, just for some inspiration and some ideas about how you might think about journeys. If you're using Mail Plus exclusively, then be thinking about the value of those links that we talked about. Is there tagging and scoring that you can do to set journeys live when somebody has clicked on, has got a score of that means they've clicked on 3 links that have had those value? Set them on a journey that does something else, drives them to convert a second purchase or a first purchase or a review. Be thinking about what you've learned in those creatives in that initial point of winning early. And in Mail Plus, there's a real opportunity for you to set live using those automations and those automated flows. So let's have a little look at Activate as an example, because it does give us slightly more that we can do with our journeys. So this is Activate. This is in one of our demo environments here. Now we're going to set a new journey live. So I've gone to journeys. I've clicked new journey. You've got the option for a custom journey here. Now, this is a great opportunity for you to be thinking, no, I want to get into the minutiae of how this flow will work, taking control of engagement steps or purchase steps or what channels get used. Equally, we've got predefined journeys that are available. So let's imagine a world where we've sent our campaign to the right people. The people who didn't engage are on their flow over this side, and over here is the people who did engage. Now let's take the example that has worked and they have purchased. Following up from that success, let's get a post-purchase journey in place. If you're just exploring journeys now, what we would say is that you need to have your abandoned cart and browse if you're in e-commerce. Equally, abandoned forms are so powerful because actually people are getting to the point and you've got an opportunity to say, here's why you should trust us. Here's why you should be talking to us. And here's what we can be talking to you about. But let's go for the follow-up after purchase example. I'm going to click Use Journey here. At the start of this journey, there is an interaction that happens that means they fall into the audience. So in this case, the event is purchase. When I hit save, what I'm going to do is it's going to load in the background here. So our entry point here is falling into that audience. They've made a purchase. Now, when someone's made a purchase, be thinking about how quickly you want to thank them, speak to them, ask for the next action. At Spotler, we have a strategic consultancy team who are your essentially a resource available to you to be able to have enhanced knowledge and interaction and almost another mind on your team. And what the team have found is post-purchase, get that email out there quickly. So in this case, we're not going to say 0 days. We're going to say 15 minutes. And say at 15 minutes, we're going to send our first follow-up email. We talked about the success in Valentine's Day being making sure that we understand what's the right channel for that person. So initially, we're going to send them an email. Email is going to be vital. It's a trusted channel, and it's a channel where you've got a lot of control of what you can say and what you can do, and people are expecting that communication with you. Email is vital. Let's say that we put in an engagement split here. So once they've been sent that, we're going to say after, let's leave it as 1 day. We'll say it as 1 day, and we're going to say event is one of purchase. We're trying to drive to that purchase point, that second purchase. So let's take that example that we're aiming for a second purchase within that Valentine's Day flow. Did they purchase? I should name that better, otherwise we're not going to be able to see and say what on earth was engagement. We can name that node so that people can see. Purchase. Yes? Cool. We're done. We've got the second purchase. We're going to go to a different flow now. We're going to do something completely different. What about no? No is an opportunity, because did they purchase post this? No, they didn't. All right, maybe actually we need to remind them of all the different things we offer in a different way. So let's open up so that we're going to add a WhatsApp message in. I'm just going to add this one in here, just as an example. So the flow here is someone makes a purchase. Fantastic. That's great. After 15 minutes, they're going to our post-purchase. And our goal here is to drive a second purchase so that we can get to profit on the cost it took to get that person to the website. Did they purchase? Yes. We are off to the races, as I believe the phrase is. This is fantastic news. So we're going to put them into another flow. Now we're going to try and work out what it means to make them a VIP, a post-Valentine VIP. For the people who don't purchase, let's go to another channel. Let's explore WhatsApp. Let's open up the conversation in a different way. If you're just exploring WhatsApp and unlocking this as a potential value add around the Valentine's Day campaigns, do always be thinking that WhatsApp at Valentine's Day and any time of the year is a conversational, relational channel. It unlocks a fantastic opportunity for conversation and has to have that in mind. Even if you're using it as a marketing channel, you have to loop back to people expect to be able to have conversations in WhatsApp. So here's an example of what we're going to do with the success of those initial campaigns. We're going to go to a post-purchase journey and we're going to say, this is who we are, this is what you do next, and these are the channels that you can talk to us on. It's both a revenue and brand feeling and customer experience win, all in one very simple journey based on what we've done at Valentine's Day. So let's jump back to the deck. When we look at what worked, this is really important, and be thinking about when you're winning Valentine's Day early, what does success look like for you, for your brand, for your team, for your leadership team, the board, and so on, and make sure that everybody's on the same page. Lots of our customers will say that revenue driven is really important. Lots of our other customers will say that data added is a really important one, or conversations generated, or sales leads, not necessarily expecting to convert. So define your success metrics very early. But when we're looking at activate, be thinking about those charts that will drive that value for you. When we think about the journeys themselves, what we want to look at is, are people, one, purchasing? Yes, fantastic. Are they making a second purchase? And the audience builder is really, really powerful for that. So part of the lead up to winning at Valentine's Day early is be thinking about the groupings of people, what they do, and what you'd like them to do next. Let's take the example. You're an e-commerce brand. You have a really successful window. You sell, let's say, nice fragrances, a classic Valentine's gift. We've got somebody in our flow. We've decided what creative they're going to get. We've decided that we're going to understand what they're interested in, and we're going to make decisions based on that. Fantastic. We've done that. We've got to first purchase. Fantastic. We've got that. Now, have they made a second purchase? How much was that worth? Activate offers you a fantastic opportunity to understand what has happened. We always talk about Activate in having known what's happened using our RFM modeling, our recency, frequency, and monetary value. So what has happened previously, then you can make really informed decisions on that. What is happening, you'll be able to see a live feed of what's happening on your website so that you can make up to the second decisions on where people should go in a flow, what they should see, what they should do. And with our predictive AI modeling, we can start to make predictions on what will happen next, and that is proving to be incredibly successful. So in the case of knowing what worked, be thinking about your value metrics and be thinking about how that can be supported both in Mail Plus, with opens, with clicks, with engagement, with certain links, and then tying that together with your analytics tracking on your website. And with Activate, be thinking about that full picture, that 360-degree view, and thinking about what past, present, and future modeling might look like as you look at what worked. So when we're thinking about Valentine's Day, we'll loop back to our learning goals. We can be thinking about who we want to be talking to. Winning early means thinking who we're going to talk to. Is it everyone? Maybe, maybe not. Is it a focused group of recently engaged? Maybe, maybe not. These are the things that we need to be thinking about when we're thinking about winning Valentine's Day early. Be thinking about how your content, both on web and email, can drive a picture of who you're talking to and what they're interested in. And then the further step from that is, once they've done that and once you know, what are you asking them to do? What are you asking the next step to be? Be that purchase, be that form fill, be that connection with the sales team. These are all absolutely brilliant things to be thinking about to win Valentine's Day early. And once we've done that, what are we going to do with that information? How does Valentine's Day feed into the rest of your marketing calendar? What are we going to do with these new people that we understand what they've done and what they're interested in? How are we going to add value for them over the next bit of time? Finally, be thinking about those channels. Where is the right place to be connecting for this information? So we talked about WhatsApp. If you'd like to get that added to the suite that you have access to via Spotler, do drop your account manager or your sales team representative a note. We can get that set up so quickly and ready for you to maximize that opportunity. We have a fantastic relationship with Meta, which means that messages get added very, very quickly. Even if WhatsApp isn't for you, be thinking about how you're using the channels that you have got right now. How is best to use email? What is the reporting telling you, and where are you going to go from there? Final step as we wrap this up. If you'd like to scan that QR code, that will take you to the landing page on our website that will be able to show you a little bit about the message platform. And actually from there, you can see the wider suite and what the possible, or the art of the possible is. Your account manager remains ready to speak with you and talk about any of the information that we've got today. To summarize as we wrap up, to win Valentine's Day early, data is so key, creative is so key, and we're really, really excited to hear a little bit more about what you're going to do with all this technology. We're so grateful for your time today and look forward to catching up with you next time around. Thanks very much.